On New Year's Eve, I saw with my own eyes my boyfriend of a year kissing another woman in the snow, introducing her to everyone as his fiancée, while I was just like a little sister. He denied our relationship, pressured me to quit my job, abused his power to ruin my reputation, and even dragged my parents into investigations. So I gathered evidence, hired a lawyer, filed an anonymous report, fighting his rules with the rules, and sent him straight into a professional abyss. I stood across the street, watching Jason kiss her in the snow. My phone screen was still lit up with the message I had sent 3 minutes earlier. The New Year's countdown is almost here. When are we going to make our relationship public? No reply. Now I understood. She was wearing a white down jacket and a red scarf, tilting her head up to meet his kiss, her eyes crescent-shaped with joy. I recognized her, Lily, a nurse who had just started her internship at our hospital last month. The light turned green, and my dad pulled me across the street. "Emily, isn't that Jason?" I wanted to run, but my legs felt nailed to the ground. By the time we reached them, Jason finally let her go. I will never forget his expression, first shock, then panic, and finally an icy calm. "Uncle Lee, Emily, what a coincidence," he said, his voice eerily steady. "Let me introduce you, this is my fiancée, Lily." Fiancée. 2 words that stabbed straight through my heart. Lily reached out, smiling sweetly. "You must be Emily, right? Jason talks about you all the time, says you're his mentor's daughter, like a little sister." Little sister. For a year, I had been there for him through grueling residency days, bringing him meals during night shifts, helping him with research for his papers, taking care of his sick mother when he couldn't. And now, I was like a little sister. Familiar faces started gathering around, Dr. Zhang, Nurse Wang, and 2 residents from the department. Their eyes pricked at me like needles. So Jason has a fiancée, and he hid it so well. "Emily, you came to celebrate New Year, too, alone." They look perfect together. Every word felt like a public execution. Lily stepped forward, holding my hand. "You'll have to look after me at work too, okay? Jason says you're the most meticulous in the medical records office." Medical records office. She emphasized those words deliberately. Jason was the most promising young surgeon in cardiac surgery, while I was just a clerk in the medical records office. That was her way of stepping on me, reminding everyone we were not equals. The clock struck midnight, fireworks exploded. People cheered, hugged, wished each other a happy new year. Jason held Lily's waist and smiled down at her. That smile had once been mine. A year of secret love turned out to be a life denied. My dad gripped my hand tightly, trembling. I knew what he was thinking, his student, whom he had personally brought up, publicly humiliating his daughter. "Let's go home," my dad said, his voice hoarse. As I turned, I cast one last glance at Jason. He didn't flinch, didn't show guilt. He simply looked at me with calm indifference, like I was an irrelevant stranger. Snow melted on my eyelashes. That wasn't just snow. It was the first time I cried for him. And the last. 3 days later, Jason's parents invited our entire family to dinner. "You have to go," my mom said, picking out clothes. "We need to get some answers." I didn't want answers. I already knew. But my parents needed them anyway. At the private room, Jason's parents were as cordial as ever. His mother held my hand. "Emily, you've lost weight recently. Do you have a boyfriend?" Jason paused mid-pour. "Mom, Emily's still young," he said gently. "I've always seen her as a little sister. I need to guide her when it comes to her dating life." My parents' faces changed. "Jason," my dad put down his chopsticks, "what is your relationship with Emily, really?" The room fell silent. Jason smiled flawlessly. "Mr. Lee, you wouldn't believe rumors, would you? Emily and I grew up together. We're close, yes, but like siblings." Siblings. My stomach churned. But I heard, my mom's voice trembled. "Auntie," Jason interrupted, eyes sincere, "I've been meaning to introduce Emily to a boyfriend. Our new Dr. Chen is great, young, and accomplished." In front of my parents, he erased our entire year together. Like rubbing out pencil marks, leaving no trace. Actually, I heard my own voice, soft but clear. I already have a boyfriend. All eyes turned to me. Jason's smile froze. He's also a doctor, but out of town, I continued, looking him in the eyes. He treats me well, and we're planning to move back together and get married next year. The cup in Jason's hand clinked. Really? His mother exclaimed. Which hospital? What's his name? I'll tell everyone once things are settled, I said with a smile. For the first time, a crack appeared in Jason's expression. He clenched his fists under the table, knuckles white. Finally, the dinner ended. As we left, Jason followed. I'll take you home. No need, my dad said coldly. Mr. Lee, I just want to say a few words to Emily, he insisted. My parents looked at me. I nodded. Some things needed to be said. It was the same white SUV we had chosen together. But once I got in, everything felt different. The scent in the car had changed. It used to be the citrus fragrance I liked. Now it was cloying floral sweetness. My spare flats under the passenger seat were gone. My lipstick, hair ties, and charging cables in the storage compartment, all gone. Even the protective charm hanging from the rearview mirror, my prayer from the temple last year, was replaced with a luxury brand trinket. Lily's staying at our apartment, Jason said calmly. Her internship hospital is far, so it's more convenient. Our apartment. My dad paid half the down payment. I've been paying the mortgage, and I had spent 3 months overseeing every piece of furniture during renovations. Now she was living there. And me, I asked. You can stay at home for now, or rent a place, he said as if assigning a task. I'll pay your dad back for the down payment and continue the mortgage. Consider it my apology. Apology. 3 light, meaningless words. What's a year? I said, staring at the lights flashing past outside the window. Emily, we were never officially together, he said. No public acknowledgement, never met friends, no promises. It was just companionship. Companionship. So the whole year of my youth was just companionship. So, you never loved me. The traffic light turned red, and the car stopped. He was silent for a long time, long enough for the light to turn green again. I did, he said finally. But love doesn't put food on the table. Lily's father works at the health bureau. What she can give me, you can't. He said it so matter-of-factly, as if discussing a medical case. Your dad is just an ordinary chief physician. Once he retires, his connections vanish. Lily's family isn't like that, he continued. Emily, you need to be realistic. Realistic. I laughed out loud. Fine, very realistic, I said. Pull over. We haven't reached your place yet. Pull over. He stopped the car. Before I got out, I cast one last glance at the man I had loved for a year. Jason, you'll regret this. He furrowed his brow, looking at me like a child throwing a tantrum. Stop being childish. The car door closed. The car drove away. Snow began falling again. I stood by the roadside, watching the taillights disappear around the corner. My phone vibrated, a bank notification, 200,000 yuan deposited. Memo, down payment refunded. I deleted the message and blocked his number. Step 1, done. The next day, Jason cornered me in the hospital hallway. Let's talk, he said, pulling me into the fire escape corridor. No one else was around. Only the green emergency light illuminated his face, making it look pale and tense. What you said last night wasn't finished, he lowered his voice. Even if we weren't officially together, we spent a year together. Some things require your cooperation. Cooperation for what? Don't tell anyone about us, he said, staring at me. Especially no one at the hospital. I'm up for the associate director position, and I can't afford negative publicity. I looked at him and laughed suddenly. What are you afraid of? Didn't you just say we were only companions? Rumors are dangerous, he said firmly. Emily, you still work here. Making a scene won't help you. The medical records office job may be low profile, but it's stable. You don't want to lose it, do you? A threat. A blatant threat. And, he continued, our families have decades of friendship. If this blows up, it won't look good for either side. Your dad is up for a doctoral advisor review next year. He'll need my father's support. He counted everyone around me. My job, my dad's career, our family's relationship. Everyone a chain. What do you want me to do? I asked. Simple, he relaxed slightly. Just say we've always been like siblings. Any closeness before was a misunderstanding. If anyone asks, say you have a boyfriend out of town. Like last night. Yes, he nodded. Once Lily and I announce our engagement, everyone will get the picture. In time, people will forget. He had planned it thoroughly. My reputation, my love, my entire year, all things to be forgotten. Jason, I said slowly, you're right, we were never officially together. He smiled. Good, glad you understand. So, I looked straight into his eyes. I'm under no obligation to lie for you. His smile vanished. This past year, you dated me as a single, but called me your sister in front of our parents, kept it secret from colleagues. Meanwhile, you've been seeing Lily for at least 3 months. I saw it from her social media. His expression changed. Hospital rules forbid doctors from exploiting power to pursue subordinates or colleagues. I'm not in clinical work, but I'm at the hospital. You're my dad's student. Isn't this a power imbalance? You're talking nonsense, he hissed angrily. And when you applied for the youth fund, the data analysis in that core paper was done by me. You were the only author. Isn't that academic misconduct? He grabbed my wrist. Emily, are you trying to ruin me? For the first time, I saw him lose control. His eyes were red, breath shallow, fingers digging into my skin. Turns out he could be scared too. Let go, I said calmly. He released me, took a deep breath, trying to regain composure. Sorry, I got carried away. Emily, let's talk this through. What do you want? Money. I can compensate more. I want you to remember today, I said, rubbing my wrist. Remember how you turned me into a fool, step by step. The fire door opened. A nurse passed by. Jason immediately put on a gentle expression. Junior sister, let's leave it at that. I'll treat you to lunch later. The nurse walked away. His gaze turned cold again. Don't do anything stupid. You can't beat me. Maybe, I said, turning to leave, but you can try. When I stepped into the sunlight, I understood. This wasn't a relationship dispute. It was structural exploitation. He had woven a web with his power, status, and connections, and I was the fish trapped inside. But now, the fish was tearing the net. I took leave. A full week, no excuses. Phone off, no one could reach me. The first day, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every detail. The first time he held my hand on the hospital rooftop, whispering, "This way, nothing can harm us." The first time he kissed me, under my building, snow falling on our hair. The first time he said, "I love you," over the phone after a 10-hour surgery, tired but tender. It was all lies. Or not lies, but things that could be erased at any time. The next day, I started vomiting. Everything I ate came back up. My stomach ached with emptiness. Mom sat by my bed, holding my hand, crying. Poor child, why didn't you say anything sooner? Dad smoked in the living room, one cigarette after another. He had quit for 10 years. The third day, I forced myself out of bed and saw the reflection in the mirror. Red, swollen eyes, pale face, tangled hair. Like a ghost. The fourth day, I turned my phone back on. Countless missed calls and messages. Jason, pick up the phone. Let's talk. Stop causing trouble. You'll regret this. Colleagues, Emily, are you sick? I heard you're resigning. Did you hear Jason and Lily are getting engaged? And a stranger, I'm Lily, can we meet? I deleted them all. On the 5th day, my college roommate called, her voice cautious. I heard Jason's getting married to someone else. Is it true? The hospital was small. News traveled fast. Yeah, I said. That bastard. A year ago he told me he was going to propose to you once he made associate director. A year ago. So he'd planned it that early. To get promoted, he needed Lily's family connections, so he chose her. And I was just companionship during the transition. On the 6th day, my mom spoke carefully. There are rumors at the hospital. What kind of rumors? They say you're emotionally unstable because of relationship issues, that you're not suitable for the medical records office anymore. They're considering reassigning you. Reassignment. To logistics or straight-up termination. Jason had made his move. On the 7th day, I received the official notice. Due to recent poor work performance, the medical records department had decided to reassign me to the archive storage room, effective next Monday. The archive room was in the basement, no sunlight year-round, just moldy paper and dust. That same day, a red notice went up on the hospital bulletin board. Congratulations to Lily for passing her evaluation and being made full-time ahead of schedule. The two notices were posted side by side, like two slaps across my face. My mom held me and cried, "We're done here. We're going home. Mom will take care of you." My dad's hair turned white overnight. That night, I sat by the window and watched the moon until dawn. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I was unnervingly calm. At 4 a.m, as the moon sank in the west, I made a decision. No half measures. If I was going to settle accounts, I'd settle them completely. On Monday, I didn't report to the archive room. I went to HR instead and handed in my resignation letter. The HR director was surprised. "Emily, the reassignment is only temporary, once you're feeling better." "I'm feeling great," I said with a smile. "I just want a change of environment." Signature, handover, exit certificate. The whole process took 20 minutes. When I walked out of the administrative building, the sunlight was blinding. I squinted and took a deep breath. I was free. Step 1, cut all ties with this system. Step 2, go home and open my laptop. I have a habit, documenting everything. Every chat I ever had with Jason was backed up. Every date, time, location, expenses, logged in my phone notes. Every gift he gave me, photographed. Every card he wrote, scanned. Even the emails where he asked me to revise his papers, the messages asking me to organize patient files, the photos of me bringing him food during night shifts, everything. 1 year. A 3-gigabyte folder. It took me 3 days to organize it all. When I laid out the timeline, it was chilling. March last year, he started asking me out frequently while telling colleagues he was single. August, he had me help write his grant application. Only his name was on it. October, the first time he called me, his sister in front of his parents. January this year, Lily started appearing in his social media likes. February, he spent Valentine's Day with me. The necklace he gave me was the same style as Lily's, just a different color. March, he started talking about our future, while quietly inquiring about Lily's father's connections. Every point in time came with evidence. The night I finished organizing everything, I emailed Jason. 1 sentence only. "Tomorrow, 3 p.m., cafe across from the hospital. We'll talk compensation." He replied 10 minutes later. "Okay." He thought I wanted money. He was wrong. The next day, I arrived half an hour early and chose a window seat. He showed up on time, still in his white coat, clearly sneaking out between shifts. As he sat down, he glanced at his watch. "I have surgery at 4. Let's keep this short." Same condescending tone. The server came by. He ordered an Americano. I didn't order anything. "So," he said bluntly, "how much?" "I know you quit. You need money. For old times' sake, I'll help you once." "Old times," I laughed. What old times, sibling affection. He frowned. Emily, don't be like this. I know you're angry, but it's done. Lily's moved into the apartment. We're getting engaged next month. Making a scene won't help anyone. I'm not here to make a scene. I took out a folder and slid it across the table. What I want is simple. First, return half of the down payment my dad paid, recalculated at current market value. Second, compensation for a year of unpaid labor. Third, a confidentiality agreement. He flipped through the folder. His face darkened with every page. Chat screenshots. Timeline tables. Email exchanges revising papers. Even records of him asking me to digitize patient files. Serious violations. He looked up, eyes wide. Are you threatening me? I'm negotiating, I said calmly. These materials can be exchanged for money and silence. You pay, I destroy them. I submit them where they belong. He slammed the folder shut. You're insane. If this gets out, your father will be affected too. You helped revise those papers. My dad doesn't know, I said. You sent everything directly to me. He has no idea how much I did for you. That was his biggest mistake, taking my contribution for granted. And one more thing, I added. The patient data, you sent that to me on WeChat. You said the handwritten records were illegible and asked me to type them up. That violates patient privacy laws. If it's exposed, it won't just be you. The whole department gets investigated. His face went bloodless. You set me up. I just kept records of the work I actually did, I said. Now the choice is yours. He stared at me like he was seeing me for the first time. After a long silence, he asked hoarsely, How much do you want? I named a number. Down payment, labor fees, emotional damages. Altogether, 1 year of his income. He clenched his jaw. I don't have that much cash. Installments are fine, I said. Half up front, the rest monthly. I owe you, notarized. You're really that heartless. Who's heartless? I shot back. Jason, for a year you exploited my feelings, my labor, and my father's reputation, then threw me away like trash. I'm just taking back what I'm owed. He was silent. An ambulance siren wailed past outside. Fine, he said at last. But I have one condition. After we sign, you delete everything. Never mention this again. Agreed. And you can't tell my parents the truth. Agreed. He pulled out his phone and transferred the money. When the notification for the first payment came through, I felt an unfamiliar calm. Not happiness. Not relief. But a reversal of power. From today on, I was no longer begging for love. I was a player at the table. He left in a hurry, rushing off to his surgery. I stayed in the cafe, slowly finishing a glass of water. Then I opened my phone and backed up the recording of our conversation to the cloud. The agreement would be signed, the money collected. But the files, I wouldn't delete them. Never. The day after the money arrived, Jason went into overdrive. Calls, texts, WeChat messages. He even added me from a new number, emails and messages through mutual friends. All variations of the same theme. Let's meet and talk. What are your plans after quitting? I can help you find a job. I know some private hospitals hearing, good pay. I was wrong before. We can be friends. It's tough being on your own. Reach out if you need help. A soft, coaxing approach. A month ago, I might have softened. Now, I just found it laughable. I didn't reply, blocked everything. On the third day, he changed tactics. At noon, my mom took a call and came to me, face pale. The hospital's disciplinary office called. They asked if you or your dad ever received favors from Jason's family. I froze. They said it's routine, but the questions were detailed. My mom's voice trembled. They even asked about your resignation. Was it due to poor performance? Jason was using his connections to pressure us. He wanted me to know. He could make my family suffer. That afternoon, my dad received a similar call. That evening, I got a message from an unknown number. "Emily, stop this. Your parents are too old to be stressed." I stared at it, and for the first time felt real fear. Not for me. For my parents. They'd spent their lives as clean, dedicated doctors. Now, near retirement, they were being investigated, all because of me. I didn't sleep all night. At 4 a.m., I replied. "What do you want?" He replied immediately. "Meet me, tomorrow noon, Old Place." The Old Place, a tea restaurant we used to frequent. I went the next day. He arrived early, ordered pineapple buns and iced milk tea, the ones I used to love. "Sit," he said gently, as if nothing had happened. I sat, untouched by the food. "Emily, I've thought a lot lately," he said, looking at me sincerely. "I admit I handled things badly, but you know our world, many things are beyond our control. So I want to make it up to you," he said. "You already got the money, but I know it's not enough. I can help you get a job. My friend owns a private hospital. They're hiring an administrative director, 3 times your current salary." 3 times. Very tempting. "Or," he continued, "if you want to study further, I can recommend you for an executive master's program. I know the advisor personally, graduation guaranteed." One offer better than the next. "Why?" I asked. "Because I feel guilty," he sighed. "Emily, we've known each other for over 10 years. Since you were a little girl, I don't want to see you struggle." He spoke so earnestly, even with tears in his eyes. For a moment, I almost believed him. Almost. "Jason," I said slowly, "if you truly feel guilty, tell your friends in the disciplinary office to stop investigating my parents." His expression stiffened. "What investigation? I don't know anything about that." "That message was from you." "What message? You're mistaken," he said, feigning innocence. Amazing acting. "Fine, let's call it a misunderstanding," I said, standing. "I don't need a job, I don't need further studies. I have only one demand: stay away from my parents." "Emily," he stood as well, "you don't trust me, I genuinely want to help you." "I've seen you're genuine before." I turned to leave. He grabbed my wrist, gripping hard. "Don't go, we haven't finished talking." "Let go." "Whoa," he lowered his voice, urgent. "You must accept my arrangements. Otherwise, you won't survive in the medical field. Your dad's up for doctoral advisor next year. I can make him fail with one word." Finally, he revealed his true face. I yanked my wrist free. Whatever. Stepping out into the sunlight, I squinted at the traffic and felt an overwhelming exhaustion. Then my phone vibrated. A new WeChat message from Lily. She somehow got my new number. "Emily, I heard you quit. What a pity. But it's time to face reality. A man like Jason isn't worthy of you. Be smart, don't bother us again." Attached was a photo of her and Jason, the background our former apartment. She was wearing my pajamas. My nails dug into my palm, leaving crescent-shaped blood marks. But I didn't cry. I couldn't cry. This war had only just begun. A week later, the rumors started spreading. First, in my college group chat, someone casually mentioned, "I heard Emily got depressed over relationship issues and lost her job." Then in a private medical group, "Director Lee's daughter seems mentally unstable. She was advised to leave the hospital." Finally, it reached relatives. "Did something happen to Emily? Should she see a psychologist?" Every sentence hit precisely where it hurt. My mom, shopping, was stopped by neighbors. "I heard your daughter was deceived by a man. Cheer up, young people's relationships often fail." My dad, at a conference, overheard colleagues. "Lee, handle family matters carefully. Don't let it affect your work." I worked at a cafe near home. Nurses from the hospital came in. When they saw me, their eyes flicked away. Quietly, they muttered, "Emily, you okay?" I smiled. "I'm fine." They hurried away, whispering to each other. "Poor girl, lost a good job. Did you hear she confronted Dr. Jason? Got kicked out by security." She seems mentally unstable, but she's still smiling. Every rumor was like a dense hail of needles. I went to a job interview. HR looked over my resume carefully, then said politely, "We're looking for someone with stability." "I worked at my last job for 3 years," I said. "But you quit voluntarily," and HR trailed off. I understood. Background checks had been whispered about. Jason's reach was long. What hurt the most was that even colleagues I was once close to were now avoiding me. No more likes on social media. No mentions in group chats. Some even blocked me outright. Only my college roommate, Zioya, still contacted me. "Emily, did you piss someone off recently? People are spreading rumors, not so good things." "Not so good?" I asked. "They say you were involved with a married man, got fired for work mistakes, and are mentally unstable," Zioya said cautiously. "I know it's not true, but the stories are convincing. Some even posted pictures of you crying by the roadside." Pictures? I remembered. On my last day at the hospital, I was waiting at the bus stop. The wind was so strong I rubbed my eyes a few times. Someone had taken photos. The caption, "Look, she's falling apart." "Who's spreading this?" I asked. "Don't know the source, but Lily, been very active, attending events everywhere," Zioya said. "She's Jason's fiancée now, everyone adores her. Whatever she says, people believe it." I understood. 2 fronts at work. Jason used his power to pressure me. Lily used public opinion to smear me. One trying to ruin my career, the other my reputation. That night, I sat by the window, looking at the city lights. My phone lit up with Lily's latest social media post. A 9-photo grid. Her and Jason's engagement announcement. The venue, a hotel we once visited together. The ring, the style we'd once looked at. Caption, "Finally found you. Good thing I didn't give up." A flood of congratulations below. Mutual friends, likes endless scrolling. Many of them had once liked my posts too. Human nature doesn't withstand tests. I turned off my phone and opened my laptop. The 3 GB folder in my cloud drive was still there. I opened it and started from the beginning. Screenshot by screenshot, conversation by conversation, piece of evidence by piece of evidence. By 3 a.m., my eyes were dry and aching. But the more I looked, the clearer I became. From day one, he had been calculating. Every coincidence was planned. Everything I thought was love was just a stepping stone for his climb. Before shutting down, I created a new folder. Named it Counterattack. It was time. I contacted Daniel. He was a medical compliance lawyer and my dad's former student. We known each other for years, but never closely. I arranged to meet him at his law office. "Emily, long time no see," he said, surprised. "I heard you resigned." "Yeah," I sat down, getting straight to the point. "Daniel, I need advice on a medical misconduct case." His expression grew serious. "Tell me the details." I handed him the folder. He spent 2 hours reviewing it, only taking a sip of water. When he finished, he was silent for a long while. "These pieces of evidence," he said slowly, "are enough to get him his license revoked." "I don't want him disbarred," I said. "I want him to stay in the system, but never rise again." Daniel looked at me. "Are you sure? Once you start, there's no turning back. Your families have a long history. If this blows up, your parents will have a hard time." "They already do," I said, telling him about the disciplinary investigation and the smear campaign. Daniel's face darkened. "This is retaliatory," he said, "and it's sloppy." "So I'm going to fight back," I said, looking him in the eyes. "But within the rules, legal compliant." Daniel nodded. "Okay, I'll help you." Over the next week, we met daily. We went through the evidence chain. We identified the violations. Using patient data to have non-medical staff, me, handle it, violates the patient privacy protection regulation. Having others write papers and grant applications while claiming sole authorship, academic misconduct. Developing a relationship with a subordinate, Lily, and giving her work advantages, early full-time placement, abuse of power. Concealing emotional relationships during the associate director promotion, integrity issues. Every point had evidence. Every point was enough to take him down. But these are internal matters, Daniel said. At most, demotion or a warning, not public. I don't want it public, I said. I want the hospital ethics committee and the medical association to know. And then, I said, let the rules punish him. I don't want to get my hands dirty. Daniel smiled. Emily, you're tougher than I thought. Driven, I said. Once the materials were ready, we submitted them anonymously. To the hospital ethics committee, medical office, disciplinary office, and city medical association, all at once. No courier, registered mail with receipt. Sender, anonymous. Address, internet cafe. Phone, prepaid, no name. Perfect anonymity. That day, Daniel and I sat in a cafe all afternoon. He'll figure out it's you, Daniel said. Even if he does, it won't matter. I stirred my coffee. He has no proof, and none of the materials mention our relationship, just work violations. Terrifyingly calm, Daniel said. You weren't like this before. People change, I said. Especially when backed into a corner. 3 days after mailing, the hospital held an emergency ethics committee meeting. Zioa told me the news. Internal memo, an anonymous report flagged a serious issue. All mid-level and above staff must attend. Do they know who it is? Not announced yet, but rumor has it it's cardiac surgery. Jason's department. That night, I slept well, for the first time in a long while. No dreams. A week later, Jason called. This time, not from a private number, his own phone. I answered silent. Emily, he said, hoarse like he hadn't slept for days, was this you? Huh. What? Don't play dumb, he suddenly yelled. Anonymous report, ethics committee, medical association. They're all investigating me. It's you, isn't it? What proof do you have? I asked. Who else would know? The papers, you helped me write them. The patient files, you organized them. Who else? So, I said slowly, you admit the violations. Silence on the other end. After a long pause, his voice softened. Emily, I'm begging you. Withdraw the complaint, just say it was a misunderstanding. I'll give you anything you want. Money, a job, even I can break up with Lily. I laughed. Jason, you still don't get it, I said. Get what? I don't want you, I said. What I want is for you to pay the price. Price? What price? I'm already ruined. He almost screamed through tears. The director talked to me. My promotion is frozen. This year's awards are canceled. Even my surgery privileges might be restricted. Are you satisfied? No, I said. This is just the beginning. You're insane. You're really insane, he raved. I love you, Emily. I truly loved you this past year. Being with Lily was unavoidable. Give me one more chance and we'll start over. Love. That word coming out of his mouth made me sick. Jason, I said calmly, do you remember New Year's Eve? You called me little sister. He was silent. From that day on, it was over, I said. Everything now isn't my doing, it's all on you. I just wanted to climb up. Is that a crime? He roared. This society works this way. No background, no connections, no matter how hard you try, it won't matter. Lily could give me what you could. How was choosing her wrong? Finally, he spoke the truth. You're not wrong, I said. Neither am I simply told the people who needed to know what you did. That's all. You'll destroy me. You already destroyed me, I cut him off. Now it's time for reckoning. Before hanging up, I added one last thing. Oh, and congratulations on your engagement. Then I blocked him. Never to see him again. A month later, an internal hospital notice arrived. Official letter, stamped with the seal. Decision on the disciplinary actions for Comrade Jason. Key points. Handing patient data to non-medical personnel. Violation of the Patient Privacy Protection Regulation. 1 major demerit recorded. Academic misconduct in papers and research projects. Related results annulled. Ineligible for project applications for 3 years. Inappropriate relationship with subordinate and providing work advantages. Violating professional ethics. Disqualified from associate director promotion. Demoted to attending physician. Required to publicly self-review in a department meeting. The hospital erupted the day the notice was issued. Zioa immediately told me. The whole cardiac surgery department was stunned. Jason threw a cup on the spot and got scolded by the director. And Lily. Even better, Zioia said excitedly. She called in sick that day, went to confront Jason, saying he tricked her. He had an ex but pretended to be single. Now the whole hospital knows her early full-time placement was arranged by Jason. She might lose it too. And, Zioia lowered her voice, the medical association also issued a notice. No names, but everyone knows it's him. If he tries to move to a top hospital, forget it. I hung up and checked social media. Lily had deleted all photos with Jason. Her latest post, 3 words, blinded myself. Below, a flood of comforting comments. Scrolling further, I saw a post from Jason. Clear minds stay clear. No likes. Only one mutual friend commented, then deleted it shortly after. I logged out of social media and opened my email. A new message from Daniel. It's done. The hospital and association will continue to monitor. In his lifetime, he'll rise no higher than attending. I replied, thank you. You're welcome. By the way, a medical tech company is hiring a compliance officer. I think you'd be perfect. Interested? Send me your resume. I stared at that sentence for a long time. Then I opened my laptop and started writing my resume. A new beginning. 3 years later, I saw Jason again at an industry conference. He was sitting in the back row, wearing a plain white shirt, no badge, just an attendee. I was in the front row, Daniel by my side. I was now the compliance director at the medical tech company, and he was our legal advisor. During the break, Jason walked over. Emily, he said softly. I turned to see him. Older, not in age but in aura. Eyes clouded, shoulders slumped, that once confident posture gone. Need something? I asked. He opened his mouth, then closed it. Finally, he said, I'm sorry. Oh, I nodded. Anything else I need to prepare? The next session is mine. He looked at me, a mixture of regret, resentment, maybe even a hint of anger. But in the end, he just shook his head. Nothing. As he turned to leave, his back hunched. Daniel whispered, I heard he's still at that hospital as an attending. No team, few surgeries, mostly outpatient. Colleagues avoid him, they don't want trouble. And Lily. Divorced long ago, married a pharmaceutical rep, moved out of town. I nodded, didn't ask more. In the second half, I went on stage to speak about medical data compliance and privacy protection. On one slide, I used an anonymous case. Jason sat in the audience, head down the entire time. When my speech ended, applause thundered. I bowed and looked at the audience. Many familiar faces, former colleagues, hospital leaders, industry seniors. Their eyes held respect, recognition. Not pity, not disdain. Afterward, several hospital directors came over, exchanging cards and inviting me to conduct trainings. I smiled, confident at ease. As I stepped out, the sunset was perfect. Daniel followed. Celebration dinner tonight, the boss is treating. Okay, I said. Before getting in the car, I took one last look at the conference entrance. Jason was coming out, alone, carrying a cheap briefcase, walking toward the bus stop. He looked back and saw me. We held each other's gaze for 3 seconds. Then I got in the car and closed the door. As the car moved, His figure grew smaller in the rearview mirror, then disappeared. "What are you looking at?" Daniel asked. "Nothing," I said, "just confirming something." "What?" "He's alive," I said, watching the passing scenery. "But that's all." Alive, but stripped of all upward mobility. Alive, but forever on a pedestal of shame. Alive, but fully aware of why he ended up like this. That was the longest punishment of all. This spring, I moved into a new home. An apartment I bought myself, not huge, but south-facing, full of sunlight. On moving day, my parents came to help. My dad helped me assemble the bookshelves, my mom made the bed. "Now this feels real," my mom wiped her eyes. "My daughter has really made it." My dad patted my shoulder, saying nothing, but his eyes were red. I knew that over the past 3 years, they had gone through as much as I did. The rumors, the investigations, the questions from relatives, the distance from colleagues. But now, it was all behind us. The new company values me. Last year, I was promoted to director, leading a team of more than 20. Daniel is still my partner. We work seamlessly together. Sometimes we grab dinner or watch a movie, like friends, yet somehow closer than friends. But I'm in no rush. Love, once is enough. This is enough for now. Last week, I went to college reunion. Zayaoya pulled me down into a seat, loudly declaring, "You know, Emily is a rising star in the industry. At the last international forum, she was the only Chinese female speaker invited." Classmates gathered, buzzing with excitement. "Emily, you're amazing. I read your article, it's so professional. Next time there's training, count me in." Those who once distanced themselves were now circling back. I didn't say much, I just smiled. Human nature doesn't need dissecting. When the reunion ended, the class president pulled me aside. "Honestly, we all knew who spread those rumors back then, but everyone was afraid of making waves. I'm sorry, Emily." "It's all past," I said. "It really is past. I don't hate them, I don't thank them. I just understand. The world is like this. You have to make yourself strong." Yesterday, I received a letter. Handwritten, from Jason's mother. "Emily, I'm sorry. I only learned the truth later. I failed to raise my son properly, and you suffered for it. You are a good child and will be blessed." I read it and put the letter in the drawer. I don't plan to reply. Some hurts can't be forgiven. But you can choose to let them go. This morning, I stood on the balcony of my new home, watching the city wake up. Sunlight filled the room, warm and bright. My phone buzzed Daniel. "Morning, great weather today, want to go for a walk by the river tonight?" I replied, "Sure." Then I opened my laptop and started my workday. The screen lit up, wallpaper displaying a single sentence. "She doesn't need to be seen anymore. She is the answer herself." I smiled, poured a cup of coffee, typed the first word. A new day had begun. And this time, it wasn't to prove anything to anyone. It was for me. The sun was bright. I was well. And that was enough.